Yesterday morning when we started, I told the YouTube guys that we were going to make history like the big leagues, and we were going to actually go through a real deal, which we did. We had 2 viewings and 2 recordings, not for the benefit of YouTube. But I started thinking about it vis-a-vis what I said yesterday morning, how when I had dinner with one of the purported gurus, coaches, whatever they call themselves, that you've all sucked the turds out of their asses and have baby turds in your teeth. And I went through ranting and raving on my soapbox, making a speech like a priest or something. And why you can rationalize somehow in your fucking weed-infested brain that paying money to people that have done significantly less than I is better than getting my shit for free. And then I said, because you're all cunts, blah, blah, blah. And, but today, I thought about what we did yesterday with rocks. And no place do you see anything even remotely fucking close to that. You made history. You fucking vaginas sitting in here. Not even remotely close. And YouTube, I'm never going to show you. And I hope you suffer all your life and you stay poor. And they take your fucking house and children away. Metaphorically speaking, of course. But that was history yesterday. You, Eduardo, you sorry Mexican cunt, were part of motherfucking history yesterday. Never in the history of this fucking business, since Andrew Carnegie told Napoleon Hill to get his finger out of his fucking ass and go interview 500 of the richest cocksuckers on the planet, has that happened. Never, Vincent. And it never will again unless I do it. Now, why is that, Richard? No, you're not the real deal. No. Let's not slip metaphorically here and lose consciousness just because you're sitting near the weed man. Rox asked me the day before that, and one of you mentioned, how long did it take Dan to make his mind up to do it? About 5 seconds. Now, if I was one of the other guys, even if they tried to do that, I did it cold. Why did I do it cold? Because I'm always used to winning. I didn't know the details. Even when we were talking to the lawyer, he's pointing to me, that's close enough for government work. I don't need to know the details. Because I always win. There's not a set of circumstances on this motherfucking planet you can give me that I can't answer. None. I don't give a fuck if it's space, aerospace, engineering, gynecology. I don't give a fuck. I can answer it. And like I told the lawyer yesterday, pretend I don't know, even though I've done 1,000 deals. Because I asked him to explain something, because I wanted you guys to hear, because I already knew the answer. And it took fucking 12, 14 minutes to explain it. He could have probably explained it in 2 minutes, but... And so we're going to finish off. We had 2 of those conference calls yesterday. And with the principal, actually the board meeting was the first one. Second one was with the lawyer to talk over some of the details so we could have send the seller, a binding agreement, because it was a very complex transaction, had 12 or 14 or 20 moving parts. And one of our board members, a medical doctor, brought up something, and I really didn't know. I had never heard that before, about the numbers associated with contracts, etc. But and then I read these fucking mongoloid retards. Thanks for the free content, Mr. B. Fuck you. Thanks for the free content. You ought to thank me if you use it, you cunt. Don't just thank me. But see, that's not how you were raised. And even though Dom thinks he's superior to you because he's Swiss, he's probably one of the most fucked in this room. At least some of you know that you're not erudite, superior, from where you came from. And when it's the haves against the motherfuckers, God help you all. And like I said yesterday, if I sent these guys run towards the gunfire, I'd be throwing their lives away. Because even a mediocre fucking wussy cunt that eat them for lunch, take their limbs off and beat their children to death with them. Like I said, apparently that resonated. Oh, gee, somebody gonna rip my arm off. Oh, gee, they weren't worried about dying because I ripped their arm off or somebody. They were thinking, Jesus, my poor little boy get beat to death with my limb. Gee, that'd probably... God almighty, please, Jesus. How can you think that way? What the fuck's wrong with you? Oh, and then if he didn't die from the beating of my limb, God, that'd really leave a scar on him. I almost had a motherfucking heart attack reading that this morning. It'd leave a scar on him because somebody beat him half to death with his father's arm. What a shame. And you wonder why you're so fucked up. Now, I'm not going to do this on YouTube, but I want somebody to read this out loud to you guys. It's a card I got from a seminar attendee from October, which Greg, you know who it is, but we're not going to read his name. And I got a couple others. And this is probably why I still coach, because he's profoundly grateful for his life being changed in just a matter of a week. And not dissimilar background to some of you, maybe a little better educated than most of you. He's a consummate Englishman, but he's not English. He was raised and educated here, but his heritage is not English. And a lot of people that come through the seminar don't use QLA the way Rox showed in the 2 conference calls yesterday, but they do change your life. And that's why I say that we have a 100% track record. Because some make the decision wrongfully, in my judgment. They're too old. They're too long in the tooth. My life has passed me by, but maybe I can change my kids. So a number of the older ones that come through here, and old is defined, you pick an age. And they just say that those changes are too great for me, and they say it's a bridge too far. And for some of it's really not, but emotionally, if you think it's a bridge too far, guess what, guys? It's a bridge too far. It's a bridge too far. And but he expresses himself eloquently, and he's reading, not reading, excuse me, listening to this, our interfacing here for the hardcore. And just to make it clear to the kids watching on YouTube, hardcore, you have to come to the seminar first. So everybody in this room has been to the seminar at least once. At least one has been here twice. And because there's too many emotional issues that you need to have explained to you before you can make this stuff work. And but Rox has followed the model very, very closely. But he hasn't even followed it 100%. But compared to some of you in this room, he has followed it, significantly better than you. And of course, the results are the transaction. Now, the transaction has a lot of bells and whistles on it. I mean, more than I would want you to do for low-hanging fruit. The only thing, there's nothing really low-hanging about this, his deal, really. It's a twist and turn like in a maze. And that's why it's taken him several months to put the pieces together with the seller. But so far, so good. and you'll see the rest of it unfold today or through the week. Any questions, Vincent, before we move forward? Any questions to your audience on YouTube? I mean, you have a following now, Vincent. You know, he's actually Dr. Vincent, if you want to know. But, I'm sure if you do a facial recognition, you can hunt him down like a fucking dog. And they have, why? And again, they're all over. I did a contest here recently for we did a survey and 400 people, not the smell the leather, only 8 people, but we did another one where 400 people of all the people that follow me participated and asked questions or gave their 2 cents about QLA and what should be changed. And of that 400, then we did a random thing where one guy won, and he was a Chinese guy from Australia, and I spent 30 minutes with him on the phone, and so they beat him up too. They said, they beat him up. They threw him under the bus. Didn't ask the right questions, and you learn more listening instead of talking, and I mean, there's a lot of pundits out there. There's a lot of people that got an opinion. Anybody else have any questions that might have come up last night? Okay, YouTube, we'll see you.